There's much more nutrition in plant foods than animal products actually. Vegetables are 16 times more nutritionally dense than meat.
Do you necessarily need meat to build muscle, or can you get by on a plant-based diet? To find out, today I've come to Norwich to meet a man called Kerton. He trains out at Phoenix Gym. He's better known by the moniker Hench Herbivore. He's one of the biggest names in vegan bodybuilding. I'll be sitting in on a training session with him and his client Jeremy, and then we'll be going for a vegan bodybuilding meal. Later, I'll be looking into the science with Professor Matt Cole, a leading sports nutritionist at Birmingham City University.
From a research point of view, there is some evidence that it might decrease your prevalence of cardiovascular disease risk factors, or it might help you lose some weight, but it isn't really cause and effect. A lot of it might just be correlational. So,
hey brother, nice to see you, Alex.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing, my friend? This is Jeremy.
Hi Jeremy, how are you? How's it going? Yeah, so Paul, take us through what you're going to do today.
So basically it's just a legs hypertrophy workout. We never skip legs, do we? As much as we hate it, but we love the effect.
And so you've found that adopting a plant-based diet then has actually benefited, like, not only your health but your kind of bodybuilding.
Yeah, like
well.
energy, recovery, motivation. Yeah, it's been huge. The difficulty is on a bulk, if you want to eat healthily, you're eating whole foods, you know, it's a little hard. You need to eat quite a lot of volume. On a cut, it's like a cheat code and the weight just falls off, yeah? And you get to eat so much volume, so very sustainable. Vegetables are 16 times more nutritionally dense than meat, 16 times. In terms of antioxidants, 64 times. There's much more nutrition in plant foods than animal products actually. I train omnivorous eaters, I train vegans, but I find even the omnivorous eaters, they see how well I'm doing and they give it a go and they find they don't need to eat meat at every meal. 3, looking good, man. 10, 2 more, you can do it, come on. Yep, drive.
And I see you've obviously got your Vegan Warriors vest on. Are you a vegan yourself?
No, I'm not, but he permits me to wear it, as long as it's not occasionally, and it's coincidental.
He's an honorary vegan.
It is, I'm an honorary one.
Yeah, that's what we got to look forward to.
So next is leg press, so a little bit more quad dominant. If you can barely walk out of the gym, if you're crawling, you've done a good job.
Let's give it a go. So what got you involved in bodybuilding in the first place, Paul?
I was just a proper wimp as a child. I didn't know how to stand up for myself. I didn't get a lot of bullying like some poor kids have it, but I got a little taste of it and I didn't like how that tasted. So I got into my fighting arts, I got into my bodybuilding. I probably overcompensated. You know, I worked the doors, so I got a taste of like real conflict. But then finding veganism and thinking, if I don't want to harm a chicken I've never met, why do I want to get wrong with my fellow man? Accidentally getting into veganism, looking for recipes and things, going on different sites, accidentally I saw what animals go through to end up on our plates, and I was horrified that I was, you know, part of that. You know, I added to it. So I'm vegan first for my health. I've seen what we do to animals, and I was complicit. I ate more animals than anyone, so I feel I owe it to them to now be an advocate and speak up. Oh, I'm getting totally emotional. We'll have to change the subject. Here we go. Big legs. Come on, earn them. 4 times squat. Right. Come on. Don't let Jeremy beat you. 1, 3. Strong man. Yep. 4. Good. Yep. 5. Any more? Look at this. Power. Do you know what I want? I want more. I want more asbestos. Just put one more on. Ow! Ouch! Ah! Plant-based going! As long as you get in the range of different whole plant foods, you're going to get all the nutrients, as long as you're eating a calorically adequate diet. But I suppose protein-wise, the legumes are number 1. Quinoa for a grain, actually a pseudo grain. I feel a lot fuller in the muscles and a lot more energy by going high carb. Even on a cut, I'm having 300 grams of carbs a day. Yeah.
I think the next step is to get stuck in and try something.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I am starving. Just by sticking to the whole foods, Like I say, you can get a great physique, you can really optimize your performance, and you can prevent the leading causes of disease. Nutritionfacts.org say that 14 of the 15 leading causes of death in the West are preventable with this nutrition. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn in America did a case series, over 200 patients. In 99.6% of cases, he reversed heart disease with nutrition alone. He's got photographic angiogram evidence of the blood vessels opening up again. So we can reverse the #1 killer. So we found out from correlation, people in China, in these villages where they're not eating much animal products, they don't have heart disease. But now people are putting it into practice and we're seeing the real world results. And I've seen it in my clients as well.
I think the most compelling argument at the moment though is how good this food tastes.
Yeah, can I eat some more of it?
Lovely looking lad we got here, pretty state-of-the-art stuff. So kind of what's the purpose of this place?
So this is our human physiology laboratory here at BCU. So this is where we undertake a lot of performance or health-related assessments on different athletes.
Would you say a vegan or vegetarian diet is necessarily healthier for you?
I don't necessarily think it's healthier. From a research point of view, there is some evidence that it might decrease your prevalence of cardiovascular disease risk factors, or it might help you lose some weight, but it isn't really cause and effect. A lot of it might just be correlational. So we know a lot of vegetables are lower in calories than meat and dairy products are. So clearly it's probably just an effect of you're consuming less calories.
Are there anything specifically that you're looking for when you're working with a vegan or vegetarian athlete, for instance? Any markers that you pay particular attention to?
We might look at things like red blood cell count or iron in the blood to look at whether someone's actually getting the right amount of iron in their diet. You can still get a complement from plant-based sources, but it's just a little bit more challenging than it is from animals. So that would be the first one we'd look at. The second one would be overall protein intake. So again, for the same reason that animal products and dairy products are very high in protein in general compared to plant-based sources, and they tend to have a much better amino acid density, so there's much higher quality amino acids. So it doesn't mean it's impossible on a vegan diet, you just have to eat a wider variety of vegan sources to get the full amino acid complex you need. So again, that would be the second one that we just kind of keep an eye on. Okay, Alex, if you want to come on in this way. So this is our fitness suite that we have on campus.
So Matthew, you're a specialist in endurance sports. How does a vegan or vegetarian diet impact on performance in those sports?
But as long as you can find alternatives to provide those nutrients, then there's no real kind of detrimental impact. There's very little evidence saying it's more beneficial, so it's not like suddenly switching to a vegetarian or vegan diet will improve performance. But if that's what someone wants to do for ethical reasons or environmental reasons, then it's not really going to have much of a detrimental impact as long as they can source those nutrients from that diet.